According to the World Bank, the top 30 countries that classified as the poorest in the year 2018 are Democratic Republic of Congo, Mozambique, Uganda, Tajikistan, Haiti, Ethiopia, Yemen, Uzbekistan, Tanzania, Kyrgyzstan, Myanmar, Zambia, Cambodia, Pakistan, Bangladesh. CBI, Kenya, Ghana, India, Nigeria, Nicaragua, Egypt, Vietnam, Moldova, Ukraine, Laos, Honduras, Philippines, Bolivia, Morocco. According to the World Bank, the gross domestic product per capita is often considered an indicator of the standard of living of a given country, as it reflects the average wealth of each person residing in a country. It is therefore the standard method used to compare how poor or wealthy countries are in relation to each other. With the 2018 just underway, they decided to take a look at the forecast for gross domestic product per capita from 2018 to 2022 for 127 countries they covered to get an idea of what countries are the poorest currently and which will be making a leap toward becoming wealthier in the coming years. The projections used in their studies are consensus forecasts based on the individual forecasts of over 900 world-renowned investment banks, economic think tanks, and professional economic forecasting firms. As one might imagine, those closest to the top of the list are mostly emerging markets and least developed countries, of which the majority are from sub-Saharan Africa. Similar to the rankings for the most miserable economies, this is one of those lists where the winners aren't really winners. Being as far from the top of the list as possible is a good thing. Many of the poorest nations in the world are places where issues such as authoritarian regimes, political turmoil, weak financial institutions, inadequate infrastructure, and corruption deter foreign investment, despite the fact that many of them are immensely rich in natural resources and have a young, growing population. In their list of the top 10, 5 are landlocked, which means they have no direct access to maritime trade, and another one is in the midst of a civil war, which helps to explain why some of them are currently not in the best of shape. The history of poverty in Africa. Just as in the case of any other continent, the history of Africa is not only one of the great and colorful kingdoms. It is not only a history of the wealthy, or for the majority of the world of the colonizers. It is a history that unites the majority of humanity, a history of suffering. It is a history of struggle against the harshness of nature and against the cruelty of other men. It is a history of struggle against the harshness of nature and against the cruelty of another man. There is something oddly beautiful about this struggle, though probably not for everybody. It is also very likely that this struggle, and with its poverty, will stay with us for a long time. Despite that, there is hardly anybody arguing that it should not be exterminated. Poverty needs to be both understood and, if possible, eliminated. Poverty in the Philippines. Poverty is both more widespread and more persistent in the Philippines than in neighboring Asian countries. While the poverty rate has decreased in the Philippines over the past 25 years, the decline has been slower than in other Asian countries. Some of the blame for the Philippines' slow progress in reducing the incidence of poverty can be attributed to past economic policies that retarded growth by discriminating against agriculture and discouraging investment in human capital. These policies, in turn, sustained powerful interest groups that blocked or delayed economic reform. The Philippines began to undertake political and economic reforms in the late 1980s and early 1990s. However, the GDP growth has accelerated to about 5% a year since 1994. With faster growth, the percentage of Filipinos living below the poverty line is decreasing. But agricultural reform and increased investment in human capital would allow a more drastic reduction in the poverty rate.
So, good afternoon, te. Kami mga estudyante gikan sa Negros Oriental State University or NORSU diha sa Dumaguete. And naami karon kay mag-conduct mi og interview nimo kabahin sa unsa may imong experience sa life and unsay naitabang or naihatag sa gobyerno nimo na tabang. So, magsugod ko sa akong pangutana na unsa may imong ngalan, te?
Jenaline.
Jenaline. Pila na may imong edad?
20.
20. Nya, unsa po yung ngalan sa imong bana?
Jovan.
Jovan. Kani imong anak ron, te?
Jovelyn.
Jovelyn. Nya, pila po yung edad sa imong bana, te?
36.
36. Kani imong anak, te, pila naman? 1. May source of income ninyo, te, kanang trabaho sa imong bana? Construction worker. Nya, ikaw, te? Housewife. Pila may kanang sweldo sa imong bana, te?
270 ang adlaw.
270 ang adlaw. Kanang 270 na kita sa imong bana, te, sa usa ka adlaw, maigoy na ninyo sa usa ka adlaw. Igo ora, pero dili jud ingon na kanang dako jud og sobra ana. Igo ra jud na. So ano, te, kanang naamoy na mga programa ang gobyerno na nadawat mo or appeal mo? Wala. Ang programa sa barangay? Wala. Wa mo ilabas programa sa mga barangay dir kanang pantawid, wala.
Isa nila wala may mga income na. Wala may makuha bang.
Giunsa man ninyo paglampos, te, kanang problema ha aron maka-earn jud mo og kwarta?
Mga lubada rin. Kung katong pares na kuya sa papa na matalikaw.
Akong last na pangutana, te, og tagaan kag chance na makastorya si Pangulong Duterte. Unsa may imong ikaingon niya? Thank you sa time, te, na imong gi-share ang imong kinabuhi niya. We hope na soon og naay mahatag na programs or mga proyekto ang gobyerno na may tagmatabangan jud mo kay daghan jung mga taong para nato nanginahanglan jud sa kinabuhi. And we hope that your story will serve as inspiration sa uban na makapukaw sa makapukaw sa gobyerno na daghang nanginahanglan diri sa Pilipinas. Salamat, eh. Kaning among ihatag ron in behalf of our group, kaya among ihatag ron is gamay ra namong tabang ninyo. We hope na soon ang gobyerno makatak na kasi matabang ninyo, and this is just our appreciation, eh. Gamay rin sa tabang sila. Ang sako! Palakpak, guys! Good guys! Poverty is a rampant situation in our world. As time passes by, poverty is getting worse and worse. It is an issue dealt with throughout the world, but we are not aware of its condition. It is an issue that needs to be addressed by everybody, because if no one tries to solve it, it is going to get worse as time goes on. The rich, the middle class, and the poor. It is described by the way we live and the amount of money we have. When you are poor, that doesn't mean that you don't have the right to dream big. When you are poor, that doesn't mean that you will never succeed. Always bear in your mind that you can escape from poverty because you are striving hard. You can beat odds because you have enough determination. And that determination you have, you will be able to conquer poverty.